Welcome to Whatcha Makin, a podcast about sharing ideas and connecting with the maker community. Your hosts are Alex Adams of Type A Furniture and Alex Duffey of Duffey Woodcraft. Whatcha Makin is proudly sponsored by Nextwave CNC.
What you making in the shop today? Got a couple Alice's to show you the way. From the blueprints to the shavings on the floor. Pull up a stool, let's see what's in store.
Welcome to Whatcha Makin, a podcast where we talk all about what's on our bench, spotlight makers throughout the community, and are here to say happy July 15th, everyone. It's National Give Something Away Day. The one day of the year where makers across the world look at that 6-inch piece of twisted plywood and think about putting it in the giveaway pile, but then immediately whisper, "No, you're too precious. I might make a shim out of you one day," and put it right back on the shelf. Tonight's main topic is about sharing a shop with a special guest, but more about them in just a moment. I'm Alex Duffey, and you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube at Duffey Woodcraft.
And I'm Alex over at Type A Furniture, and you know who else shares?
Who?
Our patrons.
Ooh, okay.
They do.
What do they share?
They get special benefits, which can be found over at patreon.com/whatchamakinshow. So head on over there to become a patron of the show.
You know who also shares?
People who care.
Exactly. And people who care are proudly our sponsor, which is Whatcha Makin, is proudly sponsored by Nextwave CNC. If you're looking for the best CNC on the market today, look no further than a Shark CNC from Nextwave. And remember, if you're looking for an extra $500, you can make fun projects with your CNC. Nextwave is looking for makers just like you. Message them on Instagram with your project and learn how to teach one of the project of the months and get highlighted on all of Nextwave's channels and receive an extra $500.
And they're also doing the July promotion where is it 10% off of all machines?
It is.
Yeah, so definitely take advantage of that promotion.
Exactly.
Who are you?
Well, tonight's main guest is half of the dynamic duo that is MNT Woodworks. From creating great content around weekend recaps and learning a new CNC and regularly giving a flying fuck, please welcome Tracy.
Hello. It's more of like a paper airplane flying fuck, less of a bird.
All right, there's the intro. Yes, it's a paper airplane flying fuck, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite things that you guys make. I think it's actually how I first found you, is one of those reels that you posted on it. And I was like, that is such a smart idea. And I'm sure you sell a ton of them too.
Yes, it is one of our best sellers. We now have it in a keychain. We've been talking about putting it on a shirt, like just capitalizing off of this flying fuck. Because it's hilarious. And like we'll have it at events and people will come over and be like, it says fuck. And like, oh, it looks like a paper airplane, and then not put together that it is a flying fuck. And so when we explain that to people, they're like, oh. So it's a very, very high level comedy.
Have you put it on a boomerang and or frisbee?
No, you don't want that coming back at you.
No, you've got
You never want your
to
fuck to
let
come
your
back.
fucks fly. You don't want them to go.
So frisbee would be better, right?
Yeah, frisbee.
Yeah,
is
frisbee.
better. Yeah.
Wait, no. I've got it. So if it's a frisbee, it could be a fuck around. So do fuck around the edges.
Okay.
So it's just multiple around the edges, around the border of it. There you go.
There we go.
There's
I'll
your
jot it down.
next
I'll let
mind.
Mac know.
Yeah, quick, make another one before Alex steals it from you.
Right. Patents the idea. Trademark.
I mean, I don't know how to make frisbees, so.
You have a CNC
Well,
now. Just CNC yourself a frisbee.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
a wooden frisbee.
Yeah.
I wonder. All right, that's a whole another product idea I got to look into. Anyways, Tracy, for those who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I am Tracy, and I'm one half of Mac and Tracy Woodworks. We do woodworking, my partner and I, just out of our shop in the garage. We've been doing this since about 2019, technically. Mac was doing some woodworking before then. And then I was like, what you doing out there in the garage? Can I bother you? And then I started doing woodworking with them. And it's been something we've been doing together for the last 7 years. We kind of specialize in snarky art, if you hadn't gathered from the flying fuck. We also do like a pothead, that's a coffee cup or a coffee pot. Um, we do like horror themed replicas. We do just kind of not quite live, laugh, love, but more like live, laugh, leave type vibe of our snarky art.
Love it. And so we were talking a little bit in the pre-show. So what is your day job? And just giving a quick, like, high level.
I'm an accountant. Very non creative job, accountant, boring desk job.
And so so most people, and I find, especially like myself, who I'm an analyst, and so I started woodworking because I needed to do something with my hands at the end of the day. I felt everything was on the computer. It drove me nuts. But you weren't that case.
No, actually, surprisingly, the opposite. I only started doing accounting work maybe about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Before then, I've always been a maker. I've always been a creative. I worked at Michael's for a long time. I've always like tried to do entrepreneurial things like painting or crochet or string art. I didn't do that one, but string art, all kinds of different artistic things. And I just happened to resonate with numbers and found out, oh, accounting is a job that I can do, and it's not as boring as people make it seem. It is still a little boring if you don't like numbers, but I happen to super love numbers just as much as I love doing artwork.
Awesome. Yeah, that is very cool. And I love that it's, the opposite of how a normal quote unquote makers, come to it. So, that's great. You mentioned the horror thing. Was it you or was it Mac that made the Halloween knife?
That was all Mac. So they do
That was Mac.
photography. They like to do a lot more power carving than I do. So, Alex, if you haven't seen it yet, we did Mac did 3 different knives. They did Scream, Jason, and Michael Myers, and did the weapon from that made out of like walnut and maple. Yes, that one right there. That was the
There
very
you go,
first
Alex.
one that they did.
Oh, I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
super dope. So if you go and check out our socials over the last week, we'll have some content of Mac making all those knives and doing the pyrography with all the faces and everything, and it's just really cool. But yeah, that's 100% Mac doing.
Now the Flying Fox, do you guys do, and we're gonna have to hit explicit on this episode, which is great.
Yes.
Um,
Not meant for children.
yes. Do you do laser that, or does she do the pyrography for those too?
Mac does pyro for all of that. It is all
Really? So it's
hand
all done by
wood-burning.
hand.
Yeah. Yep.
That is really impressive.
Yeah. We will do the laser for like the small keychains just because it's too small. And this past Christmas, we did like a little batch of ornaments with the flying fuck, and that was all done by laser. But when it comes to the
Mm,
art piece, like the knives, like that art piece, we stick to pyrography for everything.
nice. Um, and then my last kind of question about what you guys do here. I saw that you guys did some of the lakes, like the Great Lakes and like custom lake stuff. What got you into doing that?
Being a Michigan kid, both Mac and I
Yeah.
are Michiganders through and through, and so lakes are life over here. We all love the Great Lakes. Mac spent their summers up on Lake Superior. I spent my summers over on the other side of the state, over in like the Detroit area, so like Lake Huron. Lake Michigan is like the lake, and then even if you don't go to the Great Lakes, you're within an hour of any lake, no matter where you are in the entire state. You're under an hour to get to a lake. So we're lake people.
And I'm not doxing you because you have it on your Instagram, but you are in the best named city in Michigan, pretty much anywhere,
Yes,
Kalamazoo, which is I think is such a cool name for any city.
yes, Kalamazoo. That's the way we are at. There's a little store downtown that says, yes, there really is a Kalamazoo. And we are the only Kalamazoo in the US, which is pretty
Oh wow,
cool.
that is really cool. And then lastly, I said last on the other one, but lastly, so you started getting. I've noticed in your reels and everything. You were doing stories, but now you've made them into reels too, of basically the weekend update
Yeah.
type thing. And how did that come about? It's such a good idea because we all do so much over the weekend. So it's such a great idea.
Yeah, so I recently took a 90-day business boost class with Can Do Kalamazoo, and they were talking about like making your
That's the
presence
best
known.
name too.
Yes, I love
So,
Can Do Kalamazoo. We got it all going on around here. But one of the things we talked about is like marketing and social media and finding some kind of consistency with posting. And I was already doing weekend updates in my stories constantly, but we all know stories only last 24 hours. Not everyone
yep.
sees them. They're not really all that shareable. And so I was like, if I'm already doing 2 or 3 stories, I might as well just do it as a reel. And so I started that just a couple weeks ago. The first one I was super nervous with, which I didn't understand why, because I do stories all the time. I talk all the time to my camera, but I like fumbled through it and I was like, I didn't edit a single, that whole thing was one take, no edits, just threw it up there. And then since then, I started to edit them because I get a little rambly. And then I realize I've recorded a 5-minute reel and no one's going to stick around and watch that. So I try and get it under 2 minutes because that's about the max that I can cut down and still get a solid recap out of the weekend.
And you do such a great job with them. I really, I've been a regular fan of watching them. So, because it's fun just, seeing, because again, we all do so much over the weekends. It's fun come Monday to be like, oh, this is what she did over the weekend. And, this is what they got accomplished. And it was really good.
Cool.
So,
I'm glad that you enjoy them. I love making them. And maybe I'll get Mac involved and start having them there. But anytime I pull out the camera, they're always like, all right, going inside. See you later.
I mean, not everybody's for content. Like, I totally get that. My wife is like, no, you can, I think I get her on camera like once every year. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, do you have any questions before we move on to our first segment?
I do not. You've already asked good questions, so.
Oh, good. All right, moving on.
What you doing?
So this week in the shop for me, if you listen to last week's episode, again, I have signed with the Columbia River Gorge Museum, Columbia Gorge Museum, no river, Columbia Gorge Museum, and I'm doing a lot of their gift items. So I have been making tons and tons of earrings, bookmarks, keychains, cribbage boards, magnets, Sasquatches, and a whole bunch of other things. So the last couple of weeks have just been constant go with making stuff. And I mean, when I say like tons, like for example, the earring display alone is 35 different earring types, and then at least 10 of each design. But reality, I made 20 of each design, and so like there's just a lot of time there. And then same with the magnets, I made 400 magnets and 500 bookmarks and so on and so forth. So it's just a lot. But it's been really fun. I'm dropping off in 2 days, so I'm super excited to get that out there. I was telling Mac ahead of time, my only complaint about this is as a contract. So a lot of people ask, how do the contracts work? And most of my stuff is all consignment. So I get a percentage after they take their percentage. And most people, and I should say most as in everyone I've worked with till now, is always monthly. Or when I go there. So like the beach store location, I restock her every month and she just writes me a check for the date. everything I've sold from the last day I was there. But most everybody else is monthly. These guys are quarterly, which is going to be interesting. So it means this first quarter is definitely a lot of investment on my end of buying all the wood and buying all the stands and all the finishing gear and stuff for all of this product for the first quarter. So, so that's interesting. At least for me, it's something completely different. And for those who are doing other business stuff, it is a business model apparently that's out there, but I hadn't been exposed to it yet.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty rare business model. Like I can see certain businesses operating like that, but that one's definitely not one I've come across.
Yeah. And out here, most places are 60-40 for retail.
Okay.
For the consignment split. These guys are only 30. So 70-30. So, I mean, I am getting more, which is great. But yeah, the quarterly is strange. So, but I'm looking forward to working with them, and I think it will be a really good thing. But we'll see. I've never done a museum before, so this is my first time outside of a retail store. So this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Since it's a museum, you need a magnet of Indiana Jones saying that belongs in a museum. So then it's just pointing at something.
Oh, that's a great idea. I might have to do that. That belongs in the Columbia Museum, River Museum. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Throw that line in there and
throw their name. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm totally doing that now. I have like 3 magnets I need to finish making for him because I got the magnet display and I put up all the magnets I made and I'm like, oh, there's a hole. I can't have a hole. Like I thought I would fill the board and I didn't. And I was like, So I'm making 3 more types. So I'm going to add that now.
I forgot, on your magnetic display, is it just a piece of sheet metal or is it like kind of grid pattern?
It's basically a piece of sheet metal. It's a 13-inch by 16-inch black metal that is basically at a little bit of an angle and then has like a lip. So it's basically an L but backwards.
Just like those little plastic display sign kind of things.
Yeah. So it'll sit on the table.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and beyond that, the new CNC is working great. I was so nervous setting the CNC up because so much of my business is CNC. I was nervous about having to learn a new one, and I've dialed in my old one so well that I was worried about it. Got this one set up. The very first thing I did besides my spoil board was for the museum here, I cut a whole batch of cribbage boards. And it worked flawlessly. I didn't have a single problem. And the tramming was so good because I barely had to do any sanding on the sides, which was great. So I was just super impressed of how well it worked right off the bat. So compared to the first time I got a CNC and I was still new, there was a lot of learning, which Mac, I know you will be talking about in the breaking section for you.
I'm Tracy.
Tracy, God, why did I say that? I'm sorry.
It's because our name starts as Mac
it's the first
and
name
Tracy.
in the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get to call her Aunt Tracy.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aunt Tracy is my name.
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, if anyone has seen a picture of Mac, the hilarity of confusing me with Mac is pretty fantastic because they stand a good, 6 inches taller than I and have a much darker complexion than my Caucasian self.
I'm just bad with names. I mean, luckily I know Alex just because it's my name.
Right.
If it wasn't, we'd be in trouble. Anyways,
also,
and then
it's been in my mind. There's a Mac and me joke in there somewhere. I know that there is
right?
with that movie.
I loved that movie growing up. Oh, that's the soundbite I should have gotten. I should have got one of those sound bites from that movie.
You should have just played the clip that Paul Rudd always played when he went on the late night talk shows.
Kimball, with the kid in the wheelchair going off the cliff.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, do you know what movie we're talking about, Tracy?
Not at all.
Okay.
But I know
it's
that
a
crappy 80s movie.
Yeah.
Horrible sci-fi 80s kids movie. Yes. Anyways, finally for me this week, I something I was very proud of. I created myself on my calendar a restock calendar, because I have so many products right now that I need to restock since was dealing with rebuilding the CNC and everything. I, for the next 3 weeks, have like said, all right, this is the day, what I'm working on the laser on this day and what the CNC is doing this day. And so I have that every day for the next 3 weeks. And so that way I can get caught back up. So I was very proud of my organization skills, which is not something I normally have.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty brilliant. I might have to do something like that because right now I just have lists in my phone of like all the things I need to make and having
uh-huh.
it as okay, in
Mine's in
two
my
weeks
notes app.
I'm doing this, 2 weeks I'm doing this. Like I might have to I might have to go and buy another notebook.
Yeah, that's usually what my phone is
Yeah,
just apps. But as you can see, that list is very long.
yeah.
So I was just like, all right, every day it's like, this is what I have to do. So I know I can't do anything else. I can't go play Pokepedia or anything else until I'm
No
done it, which
video
by the way,
games.
it's so addicting. It's all I've been playing. And I was telling Tracy earlier that I was up till like 1 a.m. last night and it was unacceptable. Um,
I got back
but
into playing Stardew Valley, so I've been playing through that and also
yep.
equally addicting. And I was up till only midnight last night, so I got you beat.
Yeah, yeah. Because so for those who don't know, Pokepedia is basically Stardew Valley with Pokemon meets Animal Crossing,
Yeah,
which are like those two games are like two of
That
my
sounds like
favorite
crack.
games. So the fact that it's all
it's crack.
yeah, it is crack. It is so good. It's you can't, and it's like there's like 6 different worlds that you can build plus a full sandbox. Like it's crazy. It's really good. Anyways, that's what I've been making. Tracy, how's your week been? What have you been doing?
What have I been making? I've been making content around Mac's project that they've been doing in the garage. I made a really cool cutting board. By the time this comes out, I should have given it to the people. So it is custom cutting board for our favorite matcha shop downtown. We're good friends with the people, and months ago, uh, one of the owners was like, "Hey, can you make us this custom board as a surprise for my wife?" And I was like, "Sure." And then it kept getting pushed to the bottom of the list, and finally just made that last week. And I don't make a lot of cutting boards. I know that's also super strange in the woodworking world. I didn't get into doing stuff with cutting boards. I started with scroll saw art, and then went from there. So cutting boards are super new for us, but it turned out pretty cool. Um, I think that's mostly what I've been doing.
I feel yeah, I can count on my hand the number of cutting boards I've made. I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't mind them. They are fun. Every time I make like a new size, Mac is like, "Hey, do you want to make one of those for our kitchen?" So I have every iteration of different sizes that I've made. I've ended up making one for us. So now that I've made this, I think it was like 12 by 18. I now need to make that for us for our house too, which just is cool. It's nice to make things and actually keep them instead of just like making and producing and like trying to sell those out the door all the time.
Gosh, it reminds
Yeah.
me of the real trend where it's the guy that like there's one of the ones where he had like the gold chain, and then the next guy comes up and his gold chain is bigger, and then it's the next guy and it's like a huge, like ridiculously sized one. So I just feel like it's like the same thing with the cutting boards for you, where it's
Yes,
like you start off with a small one,
right.
and then
The
an even
first one
bigger
was
one,
like
and then you
this
just show like a
big,
four
and
by
then
eight
this
sheet of
big.
plywood.
Yes. You need a whole like truck to deliver it because it's just huge.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough that one of my best friends is Kara from Andy's too. If you know from online, makes some of the best cutting boards
Ah,
around.
yes.
So if anybody ever asks me for a cutting board, I hand them her card.
Smart.
Like, here you go.
Yes.
Contact Kara.
Her cutting boards are beautiful. Like
Right?
she's goals.
Yeah, she's got an eye for design with cutting board design. So it's very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you've been working on?
I've been working on trying to get my CNC running. I am very new to the CNC world. Uh, got it up and running at the end of May and have not yet successfully cut a good project yet. Still learning, still getting through it. I'll save more for the Whatcha Makin section because it's it's solid. But trying to make stuff on that, it's been it's been a thing. But we also have an event coming up. We have a second Saturday sale, so I've been trying to like make sure all of our little things are taken care of. Like we do book readers. I've been trying to make some book readers, some herb strippers. Trying to go through the list of the things that sell really well for us and make sure we have at least a few. It's a really small show. It's the first show of it's their first time doing this show. So if it goes well, they'll keep going it from here. So I don't want to invest too much time into stressing out about it and just kind of bringing a good selection of as many different things as I can for it.
So speaking of the book readers, I was actually I'm glad you brought that up because I have a question around those. I've been debating making them for my markets. And so they do well for you guys?
They do so well for us. They are our #1 seller. I don't know if it's the area. I don't know if it's the price point. We make them out of scrap wood. We price them at, we're just increasing them. We're going to start selling them at $15. But we had been selling them for $12 and they were just flying off the table. So we're going to test the market, see if we can sell them. Yeah, they go right on your thumb.
The little thumb hole, those ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I knew which one you were talking about because I was like, I think that's the one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Really? And I was debating selling them. I was like, oh, maybe I'll make them and sell them for 10. So you're saying they were going at 12 later.
They were going at 12. Yeah, they were flying off the counter. We had them at the Summer Bazaar and the Winter Bazaar last year, which takes place in a brewery. So I don't know, maybe our customers are just a little bit more fluid from the beverages, but they sold out both times at those events. So we take maybe about 2 dozen with us and sell them all. And since it comes from scrap wood, the cost to make them is pretty low. We cut them out on the scroll saw. I know a lot of people cut them out on the CNC and then just sand them. We put Bumblechute's wood finish on them. Yeah, we haven't tried those ones. They were a new style, more of just like a winged style instead of having it as a thumb ring. And we only made the 4. We're not sure if we like them yet or not. We haven't made more of that style, and we gave away the 4 that we had in that style. So we're just unsure because Mac likes to like fidget around, so not having it in like around their thumb, they're able to like fidget on it a lot more and play around with it a lot more. So that was kind of the idea behind that one. So we're still kind of testing that design.
You would think for holding though that with the hole there is so much easier because then it's just remove your thumb,
you don't
turn
drop
the page,
it.
hold it again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Might have to buy your file for it since you've got the shape down because that's I think the best thing is I'm looking at your shape that you're using and I've seen book readers before but they're very rectangle and I love the curves that you have with this because it just fits with the book.
Yeah. And we do happen to sell our file on our website. We sell the file for the book reader and for the herb strippers that we make. So you can find them there.
You should check your website. It gives it's telling me it's coming soon.
Probably the physical one is coming through. There should be a template.
Oh, okay. Maybe I clicked the wrong link then. That was my bad. Because I was like, oh, I wanna buy that. Perfect. Anyways.
Oh yeah, no, my website does say we're coming back soon. Oh no, my website's broken. Okay, I'll fix that because I must have put it in in work mode and forgot to take it back out of work mode.
Woohoo! Finding issues. What you're breaking.
Right. Let me just jump ahead to that section. I've got so much to talk about. Websites,
well, first,
machines.
Alex, what have Alex, what have you been doing in your shop this week?
Lots of stuff. So I did
let me guess. Table.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Finished, installed. So
finished and installed.
Yeah.
I don't have to hear about this table anymore. Yay!
No, you probably will. Yeah. Let's see. Oh no, I'm getting too much glare on this. Yeah, you can't really see it from there. Went together well. Lots of just like tedious. So I had to do it on site because it's just so large that it just makes more sense to transport it in pieces and then assemble it. So I did the aprons with the little figure 8 swivel fasteners on those. So I had a lot of pocket hole joinery to get the legs and aprons together. I had put in a domino in there mainly just for alignment, just so it's in the right spot, and then used pocket holes to actually pull it together, and then the figure 8 fasteners to connect it to the top. I did use pocket holes on the end of the table because since that board is going the same direction as the rest of the wood in the table, it's like it's fine. You're not going to see a lot of movement on that. So that one, it's safe to put pocket holes on those. You don't have to worry about contraction and expansion. The more, and that was just like tedious doing all of that. And then because these are my neighbors, and so their little girls were enthralled with having me around and just like watching and kind of being close. And it's funny because they would like just repeat multiple phrases because they're like, I don't know, like 2 and 4 maybe, somewhere around that range. And so they'd be like, you just randomly hear them say like, so heavy, because like we had said like the tabletop was heavy. So as you just keep on hearing those like little phrases, it was just a lot of fun. And of course they were excited, so it was entertainment for them to be able to watch me pull all that stuff together. And I did actually, when I was drilling some of the figure 8 fasteners, I did that on their like back deck, which was right by their kitchen. I think it was from that where I think I was just bent over at like just the right angle where my back hurt for several days after that. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Gotta bend at the knees.
So I know it was one of those things where it's like you just want to get done with it because it was hot outside too. So because I was like in the sun and it was like blistering hot, it's like I just want to get all these things like cut and done. And then the probably the more tedious portion of that install was getting the slides aligned properly so that it actually doesn't bind when you're pulling those apart, because it needs to pull apart by about 3 foot for all of the leaves to go in that we had for it. So I was measuring that, and I was using blue Scotch tape for like my marker on there since I had finish on everything already, so I couldn't use just like pencil marks for like alignment and everything. So I did the same thing with like the aprons and whatnot to get the spacing where I wanted it on those edges to make sure that everything was even. And then the one thing that I didn't think about it until after I had done everything was the slides on these. They have 4 spots to put screws in there that are already countersunk in. And the boards on this run essentially sideways. They don't go lengthways, they go sideways. And so, I had the figure 8 fasteners to account for expansion and contraction for wood movement. But I didn't think about when I was drilling in the slides, it's got 4 screw holes in there and it spans, I don't know, maybe like 18 inches, maybe 20 inches or something like that. So I don't know if that's going to affect expansion and contraction on those across that space, since there's not quite as much allotment for wood movement. So I'm just like, oh, do I let it be and just see how it goes, or do I need to like replace these with like swivel fasteners? I'm just like, I'll probably be fine.
Just let it be. You're not talking you're going to have moisture swings of 40%. We're talking a couple percentage, most likely.
It's indoors, and it's not like the aprons where you're spanning almost the full length of the tabletop itself, because it's only a partial. It's like maybe a third of the length of that tabletop as well. So I'm like, yeah, I'll probably be fine. So that was my one worry that I had with that one. So yeah, that's what I had with the dining table.
This is for your neighbor?
Yeah, neighbors across the street. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
if
they
it
have
goes wrong, they can
the
easily
warranty.
find you or yelp and
Yeah,
go away.
which is either a good or a bad thing, depending on how
Right,
you
yeah.
use it.
Bad. Very,
Very
very
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
I've had definitely had that happen of I made a outdoor table for some friends, and I'm like, I wasn't happy with it to begin with because I didn't like the choices they made for finish and everything. I was like, this isn't going to go well. I just know it. Delivered. It was a gorgeous table within a year. Hey, can you refinish it? There's this bubble in here. And I'm like, yeah, because you made me put plastic all around walnut and put it outside. It's going to bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
And then I did my first actual CNC project, which was just a little tray. It was a free file from the Next Wave website. It was one of their like monthly files, which I can grab it here real quick. So this guy right here. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
it's just a little
A
tray.
bit
So
storage tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the router bits in there. So this is an inch thick piece of ash that I had laying around. So I'm like, it's a little bit punky on one side. So it's like, I maybe wasn't gonna use it for other projects, but like for this, it'll work out good. It was about the right. I had to plane it down just a smidge to get it down to 1 inch. I think it was like maybe 1 3/4. So as you can kind of see on there's a little bit of kind of spaltiness to the one side of it, kind of by where the sapwood was.
See, now
But
I
that
see
went
that piece of wood and
easy.
I'm like, ooh, that would be a beautiful backer for one of like the artwork pieces that we do because we love finding like spalted wood or charactered wood for like the
Right.
backers of our art.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I used for that one, and it just used 2 bits. It used a V groove. Is there a difference between the V groove and the V carve bit? Is the V
No,
carve
they're
like
the same
little...
thing.
Okay. And then it used just a standard spiral bit, which I need to, because I just used the file basically directly from the website, and I didn't really. I attempted to modify stuff in Vectric, but I was having some issues because I think in theirs, technically they used like a upcut bit, but all I had were downcut bits. So I don't know, because I had some issues where it was like, it was sounding pretty angry when it was cutting out the final profile around the edges. So I don't know. So I manually slowed down on the pendant, the travel speed, whatever that is. I kept the spindle speed the same, but I slowed that down because I don't know. I think I was close to like some knots on one side, so it was kind of getting angry around that spot. So like, I'll just slow this down and it'll do okay. Because like, it'll only add maybe a couple of extra minutes onto it. It's not a super long carve to begin with, so that gave me a lot of confidence to like start looking at other files of like, oh yeah, I can just download some files and I don't have to start making my own files quite yet, because that's where I started with a lot of the when I'd gotten the 3D printers, albeit I had a background in doing stuff in CAD, but I was just pulling and printing stuff that were existing files and just getting accustomed to the machine that way. So I think I'm probably going to do the same with the CNC, where it's like, just start off, get accustomed to some files that are already been made and proven, and just match the bits up and carve out a few things that way and kind of get started, and then start making my own stuff once I get a little more acclimated to the machine.
That's funny. I did the exact
Yeah.
opposite with my CNC. I jumped in and like just started. I'm working on whiskey smokers because that's something that we make and sell a lot of. And I just
Mm-hmm.
jumped in with that, and I was like, I'm just going to figure out how to make this on here. And I didn't start with like downloading other files. I'm sure there's whiskey smoker files out there that I could have grabbed and learned from, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm just going to figure this out myself. And have not figured it out myself yet, but am working on it and making progress. So
Oh, and I'm
very
sure you're
opposite.
learning tons as you're
Oh
going
yeah,
through there, because you learn what works and what doesn't work.
yeah.
Because I know, because
I'm the same way with Tracy. That's how I started. I just went full board. I was like, I'm going to put a big piece of expensive walnut on this thing and try and make my own shop sign. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
the best way to learn is to fuck things up. And then you're like, okay, that's
Yes.
what you're not supposed to do. Now let me figure out what you are supposed to do. And then eventually
Mhm.
you figure out all the mistakes and then you're an expert.
Yeah, so it's
It's the best piece of advice.
Yeah, because the one thing that I like about using other people's files is like sometimes they do something in a way that like is better than what you would have thought of. Just like, oh yeah, I'll take that nugget and I'll use that on these other projects. And it's, I mean, it's just a different way of learning stuff. So nothing wrong with
Absolutely.
either direction. They each have their own pros and cons. So I'm hoping I can get some stuff made later this week. Probably whiskey smokers, but we'll see.
Alex, remind me while we're not recording to send you my files, so that way you've got the whiskey smoker and
Okay.
coffee scoop and all that kind of stuff. And Tracy, you too. But that way I can send you those files so you can, because that's why I started selling my files, is from people that I learned from how to set up a file and how to do stuff. And so
Yeah,
I'm gonna put in
appreciate that.
so many support tickets for when I get these files. Like this doesn't work
There
with my
is no-
machine. Like I didn't. What kind
there
of
is
bit do I
no
need for
support
this?
section on my website. Sucks to be
No,
you.
I'm gonna type it up. I'm gonna message you. Gosh, I was. I mean, this transitions well, but I originally bought
Texting me all weekend about bits.
Shh, don't tell your wife. Who's this Alex? Why is he texting you at 10 p.m. asking about
Yeah.
bits?
She's well aware.
No, yeah, because what I did was I got it was like a 5-pack of like down cut 1/4-inch bits that I was gonna start with, and then IDC Woodcraft posted that they were having their 4th of July sale, which is gonna be over by the time this airs, where they were doing, what was it, 10 or 15% off of your order, 15%.
Yeah.
So I was like going through, and they got me with all of the different tiers of like free shipping at, $160, and then spend this much to get this free bit. I'm like, I gotta get the free
The
bit.
cup.
So all in all, I put in like $1,000 order for bits.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
I
close.
I didn't get
My
credit for
shopping
it at
cart's
all.
got like $350 in my shopping cart, and I just haven't clicked go. I got to do that before it ends tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but you missed out the sale. You can use Mr. Duffy's code to get, what is it, 10% off?
10%. Yeah.
10% off of your order. So
Yep.
So,
Code
yeah,
Duffy
you
at
can still-
checkout.
Yep. DUFFEY. Yep. You can still
EY.
get a good portion off there. So yeah, I did message them saying like, because I tried to use his code, but it wouldn't combine. I don't know if it was, you still might be able to get 10% more off of your order depending on what you have. Because I think it was something where it couldn't be combined. I think it was like the free 1/4-inch bit that they couldn't match with that promotion.
I don't think it works with the 4th of July sale.
I could have swore that it did when I was initially putting it together, but who knows? Try it and see what happens.
I'll give it a
But
go.
anyway, I messaged him saying like, definitely put this order under Mr. Duffy's referral. So, because he was definitely putting in work answering all of the questions that I had on
So many text messages.
And I felt bad with like the one message I sent when I was like, my file's not working.
No.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, I love helping people. That's what I like doing, especially when it comes to CNC stuff. That's why I teach, and I do teaching stuff for free. So I love that. The amount of messages I get on a daily basis from people asking for help is quite a few. I put about an hour in a day, is my guess, of just answering questions, and I'm happy to do so. I love it because it helps this community, and that's all that matters. So
well, and I did.
So feel free, send me your questions
To
anytime.
be fair, what I did do is I did actually go back and re-listen to the episode where we had Liberty on from IDC Woodcraft on some of those bits, which is, what episode was that?
40 something.
38. Episode 38.
Oh, so close.
So close.
So close.
Because like I
It's only
originally
been
had
51.
like a few of those like starter bits that you had suggested, but I was asking about like specific use cases on like this bit or that bit or what have you. So a little bit.
Yeah, you
more
were
in
asking like,
minutia.
what do you use for 3D carving, and like that's very situational. But generally it's a
Right, yeah.
roughing bit, and then from there it's a tapered ball nose bit. So
Yeah, because I was, and that's kind of how you should approach it. Is like these are the type of projects that I am wanting to do, and matching up the bit with that, so that you know what it is that you are actually gonna be doing with it.
And
So,
you
yeah.
know, maybe don't do what Alex is doing, by the way, of making a massive order. I do recommend, if you are very first starting out on a CNC, just buy some cheap Amazon bits, because you
Well, that-
will break bits when
well,
you're beginning.
That
when
is
you
the first
go
thing
with.
that I did. I did do a cheap
Yeah.
order of bits before I got here, so I did technically do that.
Yeah, just
But
for
I
your
got
first
excited
few
because
things.
it got on sale, and I know that I am gonna be doing a lot of projects to show off the
Yeah.
abilities of the shark. So
I want an update in
slightly
like
interested.
6 months from now of how many of those bits you haven't touched at all. Because that's usually my luck, is I
There'll
buy
probably
like a
be
bunch of different like styles and shapes and then end up only using like a percentage of them. So I'm curious, of all the different types of bits that you use, which ones do you end up using in the first 6 months?
I'm with
it'll
you,
probably
because I definitely made a order like that, and I definitely have. I probably am sitting on about 200 bits right now, and 50 of them probably have never been opened. So
well, I mean, like I bet I'll probably end up using 80% of it, because a lot of them I did do some duplicates where it's like,
Mm.
hey, you're gonna need this many 1/4-inch bits and whatnot. Because
Yeah.
I ordered a couple of the Beast bits, I think it was, or one of those ones that's for like hog out materials. Like, I'll probably need a few of those just in case. So there were quite a few duplicates on there. I only did, for the 3D carve one, like I only did like one of each, because it's like I don't know if I'll do the standard ball nose or like the tapered one more. So I only got like one of those to use. So I'll probably end up because I know that I'm going to be making some cribbage boards, so it's like I want the drill bit style bit or whatever for those.
yes, that is
So,
the
yeah, it
only
was-
bit I recommend for those cribbage boards.
Right.
Is the IDC Woodcraft lightning drill bit.
Right. Yeah. So I knew that I needed to do that to do a few cribbage boards. So anyway, I'll probably be over 50% usage on that within the 6 months, because especially if
Nice.
I'm pulling in files from other people that I'm pulling in, there's going to be a little more experimentation of different stuff, I think, just because that's how I want to approach it. Anyway, on to 3D printing stuff. So I had to prep for a really big 4th of July market. So I was running my 3D printers as much as I could. So I have been doing, because one thing that I have in the summer is that when you're out on that market, depending on the types of prints that you have, some of your PLA prints can be susceptible to warping when they're out in that heat. So I had slowly been starting to move over some of those prints that I want to be able to display out in the sun over to PETG. So one of those that I had was there are these key holders that they're either the back end or the front end of cars. So like classic muscle cars or new exotic cars, like stuff like that, where I was printing those in PETG because I wanted to be able to display them out there next to the hitch covers. So I was experimenting with those. Those were kind of my like new thing that I was testing out at that market. And then let's see. I think the rest of my like 3D printing stuff was related to things that were breaking. So I'll save that for the break-in section.
Well, then with that note.
Help is on the way, dear!
So this week for me, it's going to be very quick. I broke a bandsaw blade. Yay.
Oh.
You know, it's always the best fun thing, but it was a quick replace. Otherwise, everything else from the shop went surprisingly well, which was good. Tracy, though, I know you've had some struggles this week. We were talking about it.
I have. So in learning the CNC, practicing the files and everything, my CNC decided to go into e-stop for no reason. I'm sure there's a reason. I just don't know what that reason is. I was running a file and it cut out. It cut out a little wonky, but not because of an e-stop situation. And I made some updates to the maybe I made some updates to the file. I set it to go, and as soon as I loaded the file, it said machine is in e-stop, and it wasn't. The button wasn't pressed in. I even like tried to make sure that it was like as out as possible, because it just like there was all the cords were plugged in, all the pieces were together, and it just was not working, just completely shut down. So I was dead in the water in the middle of production in the start of my Saturday and lost the entire weekend because I couldn't do anything. But with that said, I do want to do like a shout out to Onefinity because they, on the holiday weekend, this was over 4th of July weekend, on a holiday weekend, I got someone on their Instagram and we troubleshooted some wires and some connections and they took a look at things. Their support team on via email was helping me out. We were sending videos with everything. Couldn't get it fixed. And then on Monday, I have the Redline spindle with my CNC. They put me in contact with Redline and they are sending over replacement parts. So instead of me needing to send them the pieces and then send them back to me, they're sending me pieces. Once they get delivered, we're going to hop on a call and I'm going to assemble it with them, make sure everything's good to go and see what piece broke, and then just mail back the broken piece and the pieces that we didn't end up using. So even though things are breaking and things aren't going well, their support team has been so awesome in helping.
That's awesome. And so it seems like it was the spindle.
It sounds like it might be the power box or the controller, not the spindle itself. So,
Okay.
which kind of makes sense because it was given some weird, like, other errors. Like, it was telling me I was cutting outside of parameters, even though I wasn't. I had, like, a 5-inch by 10-inch piece of project on my 16.5-inch space. So there wasn't, like, it's not like I was cutting 17 inches on a 16. Like, that would make sense that I'm outside of parameters, but this was right on parameters, so, or underneath.
Huh.
So there's some kind of communication error going on, and hopefully it's just an easy, faulty something that can be replaced, and then I'll be good to go again.
Did you mention the wonky circles to them when you talked to them?
I did not mention the wonky circles. I had talked to Christy over at Oak Hill Millworks about my wonky circles, and she took a look at my file, and I think it was one of those I made the file myself and didn't quite know what I was doing. I did the outside cut, and then I did the pockets on the inside. And so it probably was wiggling because it wasn't supported on the outside. So I should have done the pockets on the inside and then the outside cut. So, but I can't troubleshoot that for now. I know, rookie mistake. I should have went and done
rookie mistake on my end. I should have asked to see your file.
Right? Gosh.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad that at least got fixed out. So hopefully, probably midweek, you think you'll get those parts? Probably.
I hope so. I got the tracking information on Monday, so I should get it in a couple of days. By the time this airs, I should be up and running. I should be fully operational and back to testing out my whiskey smokers, and then maybe making book rings, and then seeing where the world takes me.
God, it makes me think of the Star Wars Episode 5, where he's like, this is a fully operational whatever, and then they fire the, like, partial-looking Death Star at something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I say yep because I've never actually watched Star Wars. I don't know what you're referencing. But...
Come on. Gosh, why do I run into so many people who have not seen Star Wars?
Like, because it's not as great as everyone says it is?
I'm not saying that it's, like, great. I'm just saying it's like it's hard to miss. It's like I could understand not seeing like all of the Star Wars movies, but like at least like one of the original ones, right? Like the original movie. It's like not seeing gosh, I'm trying to think of other movies. Like Jaws is an iconic movie. It's like it's hard not to see something like
I've never
that.
watched Jaws.
Okay, no.
Oh, they both leave. Ouch.
I was gonna go grab my Lego set over there. Mac just put together the Jaws boat Lego set. This thing is
That's awesome.
Oh,
amazing. Yeah, it's wicked cool. It even has like a shark. It's got like the three guys on the boat. Like this thing is cool.
Yep. Nope. Never seen it. I was never a suspense horror fan at all. So, yeah.
Valid, fair.
Now, I've probably seen every weird sci-fi movie that nobody's ever heard of, like Mac and Me. But,
please tell me that you've seen all of the Starship Troopers movies.
yes, I have, of course. All
Good.
the direct-to-DVD ones, too.
Yes. All. Because how many do they have? 3 or 4?
4.
Is it 4? Okay. Yeah. Because they made one like fairly recently, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Alex, did you break anything this week?
Oh God, I broke so much shit. So the first one was my 3D printer. It was one of my Bamboo A1s that it was in the middle of a print. It was an overnight print as well. And so I wake up, the other 2 printers are doing fine. And the one is dead. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. So I was like, I don't know if there was a blip in the power and this one just kind of shut off but didn't recover, because the other ones did okay. So I cycled the power, nothing. So I tried a couple of quick fixes. Some people said that occasionally the little SD card can be corrupt. So if you pop out the SD card, it'll boot normally, and then if you just need to get a new SD card, and then it'll boot normally. But that was not the case. And so I had to do some more troubleshooting. And what ended up being the problem was that I had to take the bottom off of this thing, and the AC board, which is basically the first board that the power plugs into and then distributes, one of the components got fried on that board. So it was basically a surge protection type component, probably a 50-cent thing. And I could tell that it had gotten the heat to it because part of the housing had kind of gotten deformed a little bit. And so I contacted Bamboo support, and they're not quite as good. But
No, they're not.
Yeah, because I had discovered that this was the issue, and I wanted it because I found out this is maybe a $15 part, but it's one of the few parts spare parts that they do not sell actually on the website anywhere. They lock it down for whatever reason. And the other challenge was that they had a different power issue with the A1. So anytime I put in the search that I was looking for, it came up with all of these videos and how-tos to fix this other issue, which was more of a cable related issue that connects to the heat bed. But anyway, I finally figure out how to actually reach out to them in order to get this replacement part. And thank goodness, I was within 5 days of my warranty expiring on this machine. So I was like, yes, at least it's free. I mean, honestly, I would have taken paying $15 and getting the part tomorrow. I would have preferred that because I was trying to get everything ready for that 4th of July market. And I get this part yesterday. So it's been about a week that this machine has been offline. And when I look at this part and I get it, I cannot express to you how pissed I was, because all they did on this new board is they just shorted that connection and just basically removed that component on there. So knowing then that I could have just soldered the wire together and kept running this machine with the original board, I was just so pissed. It's like, you're telling me this entire time I could have just shorted that circuit, and it would have been fine because it wouldn't have had the surge protection, but it doesn't have the surge protection anymore with the replacement one. So it's like, I'll just put in the new one. I'm going to keep the old board, and just in case it fries on the other one or whatever, I can replace it or just short that or whatever. So I was not happy about that, to say the least. So that was my first issue that I had with the 3D printers. The second one that I had was actually with the P1S. So I've got two AMS units connected to it, and one of my filament spools was not feeding through, and which is, I mean, it's a thing that happens every now and again, so it's not an uncommon thing to happen. So I'm trying to feed this filament through and see where it's actually getting stuck, if it's closer to the AMS unit or if it's closer to the print head. And what I found, and this is the tube that I've been kind of twirling around. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think I can get close enough on the camera. No, it's not gonna. There, yeah.
You got to do like
it is worn all the way. It is worn all the way through that cable. You can kind of see the slightly dark in the center, a little bit maybe. There we go. You can see it. So it is.
As someone who has never 3D printed, have no idea what I'm looking at.
So the filament that feeds through
a plastic tube.
Yeah, so it just feeds through a plastic tube so it can get all the way to the 3D print head. And so what had happened was, I think the turn is tight enough on there that the very end of that 3D filament, because I do a lot of color changes, the very end of it, it's got that sharp edge.
Yeah, so it just gradually started through.
Yeah, just gradually scraping. And it's been like a year. So it's like, it's not like it wore out super duper fast. Like, it took a super long time. So it was an easy fix to replace that. So I was like, okay, at least this was an easy fix of just swapping out, because I have extra of this Teflon tubing. So that was, I had not experienced that one before, but it was much easier to deal with. And then I kind of already talked about the table slides a little bit with like screwing those in, and like, it might be a little bit of an issue with wood movement, but overall that's fine. And then this afternoon, not really woodworking related, more just house stuff related, of like, we've had the ceiling fan broken for like over a year, and then my wife decides like, you need to fix that today. I'm like, really? Like, you need to do that right now? Like, it's been fine. So like, anyway,
I'm that kind of wife.
She waited a year.
Yeah, she's waited a year.
Fine, it's fine. I'll just put it in the
for
pile
you.
with
It's
that.
fine. It's not for her.
I'll just lump that in with the missing doorknob that's on the back door, because the reason. So the reason for that one, the missing doorknob on the back door, is because our dogs, like, when they get the door open, they put all of their weight on that door handle, and that's what broke it in the first place. And I'm like, I'm just not incentivized to fix this, because I know it's probably going to break relatively soon. Because I had gotten our larger dog, his rabies updated here recently, and he weighed in at like 195 pounds. So he's a big boy.
What kind of dog
so that's a
do
lot
you
of
have?
weight on a door handle. What? He's like a coonhound mix of some kind. So he's a big boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that door handle saw some wear and some force from him. So, like, he's like on his hind legs, like pressing all of himself into that, trying to open the door when he wants to get inside.
Or just go to one of the rebuild stores, buy or pick up like 7 door handles for the price of one new one, and you know, when one breaks, you just swap out the next one.
I just don't want to.
And then your wife is going to get to a point where she's tired of it and will go, you got to do it now.
I know. But anyway, with the
Speaking of a
ceiling
wife,
fan, the issue with that one is I'm like 98% sure that the capacitor is just worn out on that one, because it makes like the little humming noise when it's supposed to be on. So I ordered that part from Amazon, so that'll get here in a couple days and I'll replace that. But what I was really pissed about that was that from the instructional videos that I went through on that one, it was my understanding that I had to actually take the entire ceiling fan unit off of the ceiling to be able to access the components that I needed to. Nope, I could have just accessed it from the bottom side and taken off the lights and then taken it off from there. So I'm just like, son of a bitch. So I was pissed that I had to deal with that, because we've got an old house that's 100 years old, and the wiring on there still has like, it's like solid strand copper that's like braided with like fabric,
Ooh,
like
yeah.
cloth stuff. So it's like, I just don't like dealing with the electrical in that house. And it's like, someday I'll have to get that stuff fixed, but oh, it is a big kitten.
It's a big kitten.
Okay.
Angry
yeah,
kitty.
you're fine.
That's an angry kitten.
Well, she was the one who wants to be picked up, and now she doesn't want to be held. So
Right?
Exactly.
She's
She
like,
wants
pick
to
me
be
up.
loved
What
on
are
her
you doing?
terms.
Why'd you pick me up?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well.
that's most of what I had going on. Oh, wait. No, never mind. I'm done.
And on that note,
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
listen, just wave as people walk by your table and don't buy anything. So what you're selling? I've had a couple of weeks off, which has been really nice. No markets for the 4th, and then this coming weekend I'm off because I'm finally going to go fishing, which I tried to do a couple weekends ago, and then the ocean was too rough. So hopefully it'll be fine this weekend, and I'll report back next week that I have some massive salmon that I'll be smoking.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you
Fingers
take like
crossed.
a
So
like a
so you're
charter
just
boat out?
Yeah, so me and a friend, Laura, we're gonna go out to out of Astoria, Oregon, and yeah, there's some salmon charters that go out of there, and we're gonna we like to go ocean fishing. So
That's
So is
That'll
that
be fun.
like pretty exclusively salmon then?
yeah, this one it will be just salmon. We could potentially can get tuna as well, but this type of year you were barely on the edge of the tuna season, so
Okay.
more likely it's just gonna be salmon.
Yeah, because I think this was in 2000 when we went and visited some relatives up in Washington, and we fished in the Puget Sound.
Yeah.
And we got a few different things. Like there was some salmon and some other stuff. Or
Yeah, well, in the sound you'll get stuff. This is more ocean, so.
yeah.
Anyway, so that's all I've been doing. Tracy, you said you had some market you're prepping for. Did you have a market you sold?
So it'll be July 11th, so it'll have just happened by the time this comes out. But in talk time, it's coming up this weekend, so we are preparing for it. Um, We're making all of the little things that sell as well as we can. We don't tend to do a lot of markets. We don't do a lot of in-person events. We usually do the summer bazaar, which is held at a local brewery, but they canceled the summertime show for undisclosed reason. I'm guessing because it's been so hot and the weather's been so unpredictable the last couple of years that they didn't want to risk it this year because it is an outdoor event for that one.
Yep.
But that's like our biggest selling event. So like we only do 2 or 3 events, and this is one of them, and they canceled it on us. So we've been looking for some other opportunities, and that's how I found the second Saturday's show. And that starts this month, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for the next couple of months. We do sell inside of a brewery. We've got some of our like snarky artwork that's up in a brewery. So those horror knives that we just made and some of the other new artwork that we're working on this week and last week, one of each of those artworks are going right to the brewery, right to our big section, there to be sold.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Hopefully
Do
it
you sell
all.
That's awesome.
openers at those?
We don't. The beers that they have are all cans. They don't have any like bottle opener ones. Not that we couldn't sell bottle openers there, but we haven't tried to market there because we've just been doing the artwork. But they are starting a book club there, and so one of the reasons why I want to get the CNC going is if I can get more of our book readers produced and then use our little laser to engrave it with the brewery's logo or their book club logo, and then like kind of work out a deal with them with that. I think they'd be up for it, but I want to have like some sample pieces to like showcase before I approach them on that.
Here's a product idea for you, since it's a brewery specifically. You could look at, you know how especially canned places that sell just in cans, they do them in the 4-pack, right?
Mhm.
And they've got that plastic top for the cans.
Yeah.
If you can recreate that using the CNC so that it's, recreatable, but that way you could engrave their logo on the top or something like that. But that way it's a fancy wooden version of that people can snap their beer into. So
Yeah. So they already do like a mug club. So like they could potentially like offer that to mug club people. You get discounts on your to-go beers if you bring in your wooden plastic
Mhm.
thing.
Stein or whatever. Oh, the 6-pack
The
carrier.
yeah, the carrier, your wooden
no,
carrier.
they're these little plastic things that flip and hold 4 cans together. But if you can recreate that with wood, I bet you it would be a huge seller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
was
pretty
gonna
cool.
say with the bottle opener, I was like, you get a little bottle opener, laser engraved. I'm not as think as you drunk I am on those. That one would probably be a good one.
For
I
sure.
would make that.
Nice.
I probably will.
Yes. And like that falls pretty close in line to the snarky stuff we do. So definitely
Yeah,
definitely an
yeah, it'd be
idea.
very on brand.
Right, yeah, exactly. Speaking of selling stuff, I did fix my website. I apparently toggled on maintenance mode when I was messing around like 2 weeks ago in there. It's been off for
Oops.
2 weeks. So that explains the drop in sales we've had on templates.
To be fair, I wouldn't have noticed my own website going offline because I just don't touch it very often. I need to update it so badly.
Yeah, updating websites is rough. I try and like
Yeah.
set down time once a month just to make sure like the listings look good and make sure like the words flow. And even though we're sold out of a lot of our artwork, or a lot of our artwork is up in the brewery, we like to put samples of it on the website so that way people can at least see it, even though it says sold out. So that makes it like almost like a gallery, but people weren't looking at the gallery page, so I just made them into sold out listings instead.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alex, you had a big July 4th market.
Yes.
I can't speak.
Yeah, so there's a town nearby. It's about 30 minutes away from me that like their big thing is having a 4th of July market parade. Like I think one of their things is like a claim to like 4th of July city or whatever. So it's Seward, Nebraska, which they also have a sign in there that says like Seward, Alaska, this many miles that way. So it was one that I was on the fence about going to, but my wife was like, you probably need to go to that one. I was like, I'll go if you come help me, because there will be a lot of people there. And so like I had mentioned, like I was testing out doing more car related stuff. Like I had mentioned those key hangers, because there's also a car show that's tied to that. So I know there would be a lot of car enthusiasts there. So I was like, okay, like I'll try out some of these products while I'm there. And then, so I got there around like 5:30 in the morning to like get set up and, start putting things together. I had done a few more things to get my market layout a little bit better. I had gotten these, they're technically these like snack tray containers where the top clips on, but it has these like subdivided containers in there. So what I did was like, you just take the top off of that and then just have your stuff in there. So it's basically just ready to go on the display. And then the ones that I didn't use, those little containers that were in there for like bigger items, I just used those to prop up and angle those to display a little bit better. So then they're at that like slight like 15-degree angle, so they're a little bit easier to see. So that actually worked out great for layout. And then I also had my wire rack set up where I had my hitch covers, license plate covers, some like the long dragons, and then I had those key holder hangers out there as well. And one thing that I wasn't anticipating that just made sense was like putting some of the car specific keychains that I had on those so that they are out and visible. And then of course I had a few of my like little wind spinner things that I had, because I had like a Stormtrooper on the speeder bike one and like a Harry Potter one, Wile E. Coyote on a rocket kind of thing, those kind of wind spinners. And so it opened up, you get a few people come in, and then it started raining.
No.
And I was like, I was beside myself, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be terrible. Because like originally there was no rain in the forecast, and like the only rain that we were supposed to get had already happened earlier that night. And I was in a spot that was like, it was kind of like where this handicap spot was. So there was that ramp. And so I had the low spot. So I was just like in like a puddle
Oh
in
no.
my area as well. So I was like walking through, I'm just like,
Yep.
oh my gosh, like this is terrible. And of course
Been
the
there.
little, you know,
Yeah, definitely been there.
yeah. So this was a stint of maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours where it was like that. But then it cleared up, and then people started rolling in, and then I started doing really, really well. And there were a few other people there that had like 3D prints and stuff. But we actually got some feedback from some other people where they're like, you've got the most reasonable prices and a much wider selection of stuff. Cause it's like, I have different things from different like niche topics, you know, like anime specific stuff and like the car stuff and other things. And I had seen a couple of people walk around with some other 3D printed stuff, and like theirs was like nice stuff. But like I run my stuff a little more fast and loose. Like theirs, I saw like they had like cute like barcode scans on everything with the price on theirs. Like they're very well set up and like really good prints. But you know, some of that stuff, like I ran it in such a way like it can be more affordable and much more kid friendly. So that's kind of one of the areas that I target are the kids and family, like things that are specific for kids that are like within that reasonable price range that they can have. So all in all, like top line, I was about 1,700 in a single day, which is the most that I had done in a single day, which was good. So I was like, okay, like that's
Great job.
that's a good
that's awesome.
day. So, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have any other events that are going to be as good as that with as low of a vendor fee to get in for that event. Cause it was only like $110 or something like that for a 10x10 space. So
yeah, that's,
so, yeah.
I mean, you looked out there, especially on the weather. For example, this is a good transition to what you're watching here in a second, but I'm going to show you guys a reel that I sent to a group that I'm part of, that you can't ever, you can do everything right with your markets, but you can't guarantee what that weather is going to be. So let's see if I can do this properly here. Okay. Maybe.
All right, this is my very first market. No sales. I did no sales.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I sent that to a coaching group I'm part of, and I'm like, you can do everything right. Stop playing. But you know, if Mother Nature is going to get in the way, she's going to get in the way. And that poor woman in a severe weather downpour when she sells cookies, I feel so bad for her.
That's awful. The bazaar that we do a couple of years ago, we were at the bottom of the hill and it pouring rain, and we ended up having a river coming right through our spot. And like we do woodworking, we have wood pieces on the ground or pretty close to the ground. So we had to like the lanterns that we had down there, we had to pull up on the table, and we had this river running through. And the best we could do about it was joke with people that stopped into our tent that like, oh, welcome to our riverfront property. And we had like the lake pieces. So we're like showcasing our lake pieces right at your riverfront property. And we just ended up just having fun with it because literally you couldn't do anything else. It was pouring rain, and sometimes you just have to have good spirits and be like, well, this is what it is.
Yeah, since I was just doing the 3D prints, like I didn't have to worry. I was like, yeah, it'll dry. Like the inventory's fine. Like there was some other stuff that was like fabric and whatnot getting wet. But I was like, well, sucks for the other vendors, because I think there was like someone who had like books and stuff and whatnot. I was like, oh, that's gonna suck for them. So I was thankful for that. And and those key holders, the little car ones, those went over great. Like they sold super fast.
Nice.
So that was good. So I'm definitely gonna keep leaning into the car enthusiast one. So good. I was like, that's good, because I've been the other portion of this section for me is I've been scheduling out some more markets in the area where they're like the local like insert town name days, whatever, where they have the little celebration or what. So there's a few of those like surrounding community ones, and then there's a couple of car shows that I'm setting up as a vendor for some of those. So I am building out that schedule a little bit more. So I have one this upcoming Saturday in addition to my farmer's market that's on Thursdays. And then I found out that this other town's farmer's market is theirs is on a different evening. So I might be able to go to that one. I'll just have to see because I'll have to talk to someone that has been to that farmer's market to see if it's actually worthwhile and how active it is. So good thing is I think that one is like maybe 15 or 20 minutes away from me, which is good. And then Tracy doesn't know this, but my local farmer's market is like a quarter mile away from me. So that one's really easy to get back and forth from.
Literally in your backyard.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right there. So it's really easy.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for my markets.
Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
All right, watching this section this week. So my first one is Picgenic. So PICGENIC on Instagram. He is just kind of he is a content maker, not necessarily a maker, but he does do some engineering projects and making. And I thought this was great. He made a trash can that farts when it opens and closes because he got tired of his little boys not using the trash. They would just leave their trash everywhere. So he made basically a little mechanism that when you open up the drawer to put your trash away, a fart machine goes off and the kids love it. And so now they're putting all their trash in the trash can.
Oh man, that's ingenious. I love it.
Right? Great way to solve a problem and have fun with it at the same time. So I thought that was really impressive. Tracy, what about you?
So first one I want to talk about is, let me pull up my notes because this is the one section that I did take notes on. Omar over at Omar Makes Things. He's also a scroll saw artist, and he works with natural woods. He also makes like some snarky stuff, or he makes like some fan-based stuff. Recently, he did kind of like a portrait of one of his coworkers, like in kind of a cartoonish style that turned out really cool. But the one piece that I want to mention is a piece that he actually did back in like March or April. And I loved it so much that I actually messaged him last week and I bought it because it is this duck. And it is
oh my God, that is adorable.
He is such a grouchy duck. This is all natural wood tones. Nothing's painted, nothing's stained. It's all three-dimensional that he cut on his scroll saw. So like he does really cool artwork, and this duck has been living in our heads rent-free for the last couple of months. So I was honored to be able to buy one. He had one left, so I was like, yes, please send it to me. I will pay whatever you ask for this. I need this in my life.
So has that duck got any grapes?
No grapes today.
Oh, I love his little boxing bear too that he's got.
Yes.
It's so cute. Yeah, he's got some great stuff.
Bear that I will not name.
Yep. Yeah, I love that duck though. That duck is incredible.
Yeah, it's so good. And we just made some duck art also. And so while we were making our duck work, I was like, we need to get this because he's just so grouchy. It feels like me, just grouchy, just ready for a cup of coffee.
Oh, this is super smart too. He made a whole bunch of like the cutie heart for Valentine's Day.
Conversation hearts. Yeah.
Hearts, yeah. But in wood. Those are really great.
God, that reminds me of the Futurama episode of all of the chalky hearts.
Yeah.
Yep. We are gonna have to have him on the show.
He is fantastic. He is such a good human and like super kind. He doesn't have a large following, but he makes such amazing artwork. So definitely give him a follow. Go love on his stuff. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, Alex.
First one that I've got is Art and Airplanes. So they have this mountain landscape mosaic, and the mountains, I think we had mentioned, I can't remember whose it was, that had used some driftwood and like an elephant painting to kind of get that gray tone. They had done a very similar thing in this one with the mountains, where it kind of got some of those gray tones. And then in the water in front of it, they've got a whale where their tail is out of the water, and the detail on it, it's just like one single piece from that whale, where the tail is coming out of the water. That just looks wonderful. I think it might be walnut is what the whale is made out of. But I just love the curves of the tail, because it just looks very natural, and just like you could almost, it feels like it's moving in that frame. So really great piece that they made.
My next one is withlove.jd over on Instagram. Made an incredible Spider-Man wall art from Scroll Saw. It's a bust image of Spider-Man, but it's got red lights behind the head and it's sitting floating on a textured black background. It looks incredible. It's one of my favorite Scroll Saw art pieces I've seen of superheroes that I've seen a lot recently of, but this one with the lighting, with the black background, and then all the red and blue, it just pops really, really good. I'm a huge fan. So check it out, withlove.jd.
The next one I have, Beth. She's over at Umbrella Custom Woodworking. She doesn't post a whole lot. She'd usually post more in her stories. But she got a Thunder laser, like a year or so ago, and she's been making pocket games. Like back in January, she made an original like hockey-based dice pocket game. And like she's done things with like pocket cribbage games and like baseball themed, bowling themed, all kinds of different stuff. Um, but the cool thing that she does with her laser is a lot of the proceeds that she gets from it, she uses for her students. She's a high school teacher. She teaches math,
Cool.
science, theater, and her students are all intellectual and development disability students. So, like, bless her heart for being that type of person to um, share her gift and her love and her patience with these students. So she's in Minnesota. She uses her funds for these kids, like helping them with like school, helping them go to prom, helping them with things. And now her business is at a point where she was able to hire one of her former students and be able to get them in the workplace and everything. And so she is someone that's just amazing in the community. I met her through doing scroll saw stuff years ago. So she started as a scroll saw artist. She does scroll saw still. She does laser stuff now, and she's just a huge advocate for mental health and just being kind to everybody. So she does some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, adore her.
That's awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Alex?
Next one that I've got is Holst Design Co. So this one's a little bit more of a fun one. So with everyone dealing with the heat, he posted a reel of how to keep cool in the shop. So he was using his various tools in the shop to keep him cool. So like the first one, like just right off the bat that gets me is he's just got his drill at like full speed, and he's got, he got the little pocket there where the where it's just spinning right there and you get a little bit of air movement. So he's like doing that, and he's got like this long flowing brown hair. Yeah, and it's just like flowing. So he's got that, and then he's got like using the air compressor to just kind of do the Fabio thing, a couple other fans like the vacuum, other stuff like that. And it was just a fun, playful reel that I really enjoyed.
Nice. That's awesome. My last one is Krelix. That's Qrlics. He's an engineer, maker, woodworker, also a metal artist. He made a wooden iron door, all the iron pieces, everything he forged himself. But what's cool about this is it is a voice activated LED door. So when he says the word friend in Elvish, it's the Durandor from Lord of the Rings, and the entire door lights up from within the wood grain of the coloring of the elven or the dwarven door. And it is so cool. It is really cool looking. And he installed it in this house and then, talks about it and talks to it and it lights up and it's a cool thing. Go check out that reel.
That's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
My last one is kind of a twofer. Allison from Allison Raleigh Builds and Eric from Rooted in the Past Woodworking. And I wanted to shout out the two of them because these two actually got their apprentice CNC the same day that I got mine. So we're like a little mini cohort. We've been like chatting back and forth, helping like get our tables set up, helping get our spoil boards set up. And like the two of them just embody this whole community aspect that we all do, like community over competition. We're all just like helping each other out, rooting each other on. And so like they've been really cool to be able to like share both the excitement and the frustrations with each other since we're all kind of on the same page. I don't know if the two of them really know each other. I've mentioned them to each other, but I don't know if they've connected. But I talked to both of them, and they've been just like really cool to work with and to chat with and everything. And they're both also growing their CNC and their woodworking and everything. So it's pretty cool to just be in the same field with these two people.
Just create a new chat that says like CNC newbies and add them in
Right?
on Instagram. Do a group chat.
I should, because I talked to them both on Instagram, and I feel like they would be chill with each other and like just be like,
Yeah.
okay, all of us, we can chat together.
We have a
name that
next
chat
wave
the
group
Flying
that we do
Fuckers.
that.
The flying fuckers.
Or a murder of fucks.
But there's no crows.
That's your first project, some wind gay crows.
There we go.
Ooh. I can feel the tear out already.
Yeah, seriously. All the splinters.
All right,
Alex?
My last one, Astropola Woodworking. So they had a very interesting project. So, like, we always see a lot of projects of like pet portraits, and one that they had was they had gotten a request where it's like the cutout, it's like an outline in, I believe it's walnut, that actually looks like one of the teeth of each of the animals that the person had. So when you first look at it, like it takes a second to register what's going on.
Huh.
So it was just one of those things where I was like, that is a really cool prompt and a very specific, yet personal image to be able to select. So like I personally never would have thought to like use that profile. So I just thought that was just interesting because that's, I mean, honestly, a lot of times some of that creativity comes from some of those custom commissions where they're like, I don't know if you can do this, but I want, this particular thing. And so I always look forward to those types of projects because it makes you try new things and create something that you wouldn't have originally thought of.
My immediate thought is that person or their client is a dental hygienist or a vet technician.
Probably. It might have been in the description.
It was a vet.
But
A vet
these days I
technician.
don't read it.
It was a vet tech, yeah. And I think it was one dog tooth and one cat tooth.
Yep.
I'm friends with them. I absolutely love them. I actually almost shouted out that same thing. So, Alex, I almost stole your idea this week, but you wouldn't have known because I'm not on your notepad. But yeah,
Exactly.
it was for event office and such a cool project. Like it was like what, like an inch and a half thick piece of walnut that she cut
Probably.
on a scroll saw. Like it was just so cool.
That's so cool. Wow. That's patience because you have to go slow with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Moving on to our next segment, and bear with me with the sound transition here.
The majority of you will not know about diabetes. People get confused about it in day-to-day life. I'll take you through some of the paraphernalia, right? This is my insulin pen. The other day, a woman saw me doing that and shepherded her child away from me like I was some sort of horrible drugs man. Also, don't move your child away from me like I'm suddenly going to go, oh, some for the little one. Share and share alike. 'Tis a lesson he must learn.
I couldn't find any really good sound bites for sharing, but that is a quote that my wife is a type 1 diabetic, and so this comedian is about, he does a lot of diabetes comedian, and my favorite quote from that is the share and share like, as he's like stabbing the child with a pin. So that's our quote for today. So today's main topic is about sharing your workspace or sharing your shop. And I did this one this week because obviously, Tracy, you share with Mac. It's not something that Alex and I do, is share shops, but I know for me, like, I'd go crazy. There's be no way in hell, because my shop is my space.
So much.
Oh yeah.
Where the hell is the tape measure? Where did you put it? Oh, it's over here.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick your brain a lot on this, on Tracy. Is, first of all, how do you manage?
So luckily we have a 2-car garage, so that really helps out, give us like enough space. And we do have a Max section of the garage and Tracy's section of the garage. On one side we have Mac's huge table. It's built to their height, so it's taller, so it's not as comfortable for me to work at. And then they have a wall full of like their go-to tools that's all organized and pristine and nice and over there. And then you go to the trash panda side of the garage where I have my station and all of my stuff everywhere. I try to have some organization, but I'm definitely not as meticulous and not as organized. We have some duplicate tools around the garage. Like we each have our own drill. We each have our own like battery powered like air blower. We have our own tape measurers, our own like cups with the pencils, pens, measuring like rulers. So those little things that like you are very particular about where goes where and where's my pen, where's my measuring tape. We have our own sets of those. So there's a little less fighting when it comes to that. And then we both kind of have a little bit of differences in niches. We both use the scroll saw a lot, so that's pretty easy to like trade back and forth. Though I never know which blade they have on it, and they never put it back in the container, so I get a little annoyed of, is this a 3? Is this a 7? Is this a 5? Like, what is this? But then I just have like a stockpile of blades that they've used because I don't know where it goes back into. And then I use beefier blades most of the time because usually I'm cutting thicker things on the scroll saw. They do a lot more of the power carving, so they have all their burrs, all their discs, all their machinery, all nice and organized. And when I go over there and borrow something, like I make sure I grab and make sure I remember where they all go back to, so that way I can put them back exactly where they need to go. And then I do all of like the routing. The routing has always been my thing, with like a trim router, with like a fixed base router, routing table, which is also why I wanted to get into CNC, because it's very similar to routing. I just don't have to do so much manual stuff, so I can do more other things. So like that's my organization. I got all my bits all organized. I've got my table organized. I've got my templates organized. I think that's my section. And then in the center of the garage, we have like a rolling table that can like kind of go back and forth to each other's side, that we use as like extra space. They use it to store the artwork that they've done. I use it to work over here or work over there because I bounce around a lot. We both have ADHD, but we both express it very differently in the garage space.
So with those projects that you guys have, are they more like each person is taking those projects end to end, start to finish, or is there some handoff where it's like one person starts this project and then the other person does the last few operations to get it to finished product?
Yeah, there's a lot of cooperation with doing the project. I don't do any pyrography, any wood burning. So if I have a project that I'm working on, I will trade Mac and be like, hey, will you do the wood burning on this? And I will do the routing on that for you. Or I will help you with the finishing or the sanding. This past weekend, since the CNC was down and I couldn't do the projects that I had on my docket, I helped Mac with their projects. They had 7 backers and 7 pieces of art that they had cut out in the scroll saw, and all wood burned. And so I went through and I sanded all like the extra scorch marks and all the extra like pencil marks off of everything, helped make sure that the backers were all clean and ready to go. We do have a laser for our logo, so I took all of the backer pieces and I lasered all the logos on the back while they did all the pyrography. And then once all that was done, we both got the finish out and we both worked on the finish for all the pieces together, oiling everything up and wiping everything down. And I'd say that's pretty typical. So where one person like does most of their project and then asks help for the boring stuff. No one wants to sand, so sometimes we sand together. We pop out a movie or a podcast or a book, and we'll like sand together and do like some of the mundane stuff, or we'll just chit chat while we oil something together, which is nice. Oh, I think you're muted or not.
Well, while Mr. Duffy figures out his audio, I will ask some questions. Um, so is there, so with the projects that you have, because the one thing that I would be like livid about is like something that requires like measurements to fit up with something. Do you have anything that actually does like that when you're doing some of those handoffs? Because I could imagine that like with some of the laser engraving, do you just have to kind of like freehand center it on the laser, or do you have like jigs to hold it? Because like I could imagine like, oh well, I mark the center this way, but it doesn't really like that's not the quote unquote center of it, so it doesn't line up exactly how you wanted it in the laser engraving, or what have you.
Yeah, so when it comes to like the finite things going together, that's usually handled by one person. So if Mac is doing like the lake layers, making one of our bathymetric mats, they also do the frame to make sure that the frame is going to fit the piece that they're putting together. On a piece like that, the only laser work we would do on the art side of it would be like the compass. We would laser engrave the compass. And so I ask them where about they want it, and then they trust my artistic eye to make sure that it goes in the right spot. Since we're both very invested in the artwork and how things look, we're very keen on making sure something's going where we want it to. And if one of us wants something done an exact particular way, we voice that with each other. We're very good at communicating with each other. So we know, okay, this is a do it how you think it looks best, or this is exactly how I want it done. Here's some notes, or take some notes, so that way we can make sure to get it done exactly as we need to.
Right, yeah, because I can imagine myself being like that, where it's just like I need to like this needs to be like this, that, the other thing, and to make sure that it lines up perfectly. Because I know how it is sometimes where like stuff is handed off, but even though you think you've got all of the details, there was like one thing that you did not include in there, and it's like, well, I thought this was obvious that I needed to like this would be centered this way or whatnot, and then you're just like, how did you even think to try it that way? Do you ever have
Right.
any of those
We did.
epiphanies?
We had one recently. Mac made this really big pride carved flag, the progressive pride flag, and I was lasering the logo on the back of it, and I put it right smack in the center, like up a little bit from center, just right there, good size. And I lasered it, and I was super nervous to laser this because this was the first I had touched this project. This was all Mac's baby from like start to finish. They did everything, and I was just doing our laser engrave on the back of it, and like super confident. I tested all the settings. I put it down on the artwork. I hit go, and as it was like halfway done, I was like, I think I put that like 3 inches too high. I think that needed to come so much further down.
Ooh.
And after it got done, I was like, yeah, that should have been lasered so much lower because the hanging hardware, we were planning on doing a French cleat because it's so massive, and the French cleat would have gone right over where the logo is. Luckily,
Oh.
we couldn't do a French cleat. We had to do a wire hang on it, so I skirted away from that issue. But that's also something that's just on the back. It's not art facing, it's not customer facing.
Mhm.
It's something that I chose to do it there, and that was probably not the best location to put it.
You guys can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Welcome
you
back.
may ask your questions.
No, I was going to say she answered so many of my questions already, which is great. And sorry about that. The soundboard apparently froze half my computer, and that's what killed my audio. I guess for me, like my biggest question is, do you feel like you have to keep your section clean, or do you?
No, I don't. They have come to accept that I am a trash panda and that I hoard all the scraps. They've said on
Me too.
multiple occasions that they wait to clean the garage till I'm not around, so I can't be like, oh no, but I want that one, don't throw that away. So they will wait until I'm gone to throw things away and make them disappear like I never knew they were there. And I've come to be better about putting things back where they go, especially if I use things off Mac's wall of tools. Like if I don't know where it goes, to put it on their table so that they can put it back and not just leave it randomly somewhere else in the garage. So I have been a lot better at keeping areas clean. But since we have our own work benches, I don't have to make sure that Mac has a spot to work, because they were getting frustrated and they'd go out to the garage and I'd leave a mess on their workbench. Then they couldn't do anything and they couldn't use my workbench because it's too low and also messy. So I've tried to be a lot better about making sure their side of the garage is clean. So that way, in the times when we go out to the garage, when we go out there just one or the other, you can have that garage time. Because one of the benefits that you guys have is your garage is your safe space, your like stress reliever or stress causer, but it's a place
Yeah.
that you can just go and be by yourself and do something out in the garage. When there's two of us out there, you don't always get that. But since we have good communication, sometimes we check in with each other and it's like, hey, I'm going out to the garage. I would just like to go out to the garage. Do you have something in the house you can work on? And then we just have that
Yep.
open conversation of, nah, go ahead. You go out to the garage. Oh no, I'll stay inside and play video games today. Like, oh darn. So that makes it kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of have a
Good
similar
communication,
scenario.
healthy relationship. That's good. And I mean,
Yes.
you need that in a shop. And even if it's not you and your partner, it's if you're renting a space from somebody, you've got to have good communication. Otherwise, yeah, you step on each other's toes.
Yeah. The other cool thing about working with someone in the garage
Sorry, Alex.
is like when you have doubts on your project, like, does this look all right? Does the spacing look great? Does this wood choice look good? You have someone immediately there to be like, hey, will you come take a look at this? How is this looking? Am I too close to it? Like, give me some feedback. So,
Mhm.
like, when Mac was working on those knives, I was able to see them from a distance when they held it up and they're like, does this look good? And I'm like, yes, that looks really awesome. And I'd go and grab the knife and then walk away from them so that they could see it from a distance, because you just get so close to your project sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so being able to have that communication of, is this placement good? Does this artwork feel good, look good? Like, having that is really cool to have just right there in the garage.
Well, and you also have the body doubling aspect where it's like there's someone there working with you. You kind of get that reinforcement of like, I can't explain the feeling where it's like you feel productive because there's someone else there as well.
Yeah, body doubling. It's very common with, like, especially with people with ADHD, of body
Yeah.
doubling. Even if you're not working on the same thing, you're in an environment where someone else is being productive. So you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is productive time. This is time to do something.
Yeah. Do
Yep.
you guys ever
Yep.
have any issues with, because how many machines do you have hooked up to dust collection? Do you have any issues with that where it's like, especially now with the CNC taking up like dust collection, do you have any issues with that capacity wise with any of the tools, or is that a non-issue?
So with dust collection, that is very new to our shop. We actually just
It's so
installed dust
pretty.
collection because of the CNC. So that is,
And your stories on that were great. It's a beautiful system. I'm super jealous.
I'm really excited about it. We did clear tubes. We got them from Grizzly, the 4-inch clear tubes, and it was a pain in the ass because Max didn't help me. I did this part all by myself, climbing up and down on ladders, holding like everything to the ceiling to drill in the clamps to hold everything. I had to stand on top of my new CNC table and like get like super awkward because standing on the table I was too tall, but I couldn't reach from the ladder. So I had to like squat on my table while drilling things in. So my arms were hurting, my thighs were hurting, glutes were hurting, everything was rough. And then it was also so hot in that garage, so I was just sweating. And like a couple of the stories, I would sit down and be like, tell you working out in the garage all by yourself, kudos, because this is hard work doing this by yourself. So yeah, the CNC or the dust collection is super new and is only connected to the CNC. And then we have an extra hose that we've connected. It's got like a quick connect on the end of it, and we've connected it to the planer. We'll probably figure out a way to connect it to the miter saw and the bandsaw. But we haven't done good with dust collection, so that hasn't been an issue yet. But sometimes using machines is an issue. Like if Mac is working on the scroll saw, we only have one scroll saw. And if they're sitting down doing a couple hours worth of cutting and I need to make a quick cut, I either be like, hey, will you cut this real quick for me? Or I've got to do a different project, or vice versa. If I'm on it for a while, Mac has got to be like, okay, well, they're on the scroll saw for the next little while. What else can I do that they're not using at this time? So we only really run into that when it comes to like the orbital sander, the belt sander, the miter saw, and the scroll saw are probably the few things that we bump into each other if we're trying to use those.
Yeah.
What kind of scroll saw do you have?
We have a Wen 22-inch. We bought it 3 years ago when it was like fresh on the market. It's very similar to the popular DeWalt, the 21 or 22-inch DeWalt, but it was like half the price. It's a little bit more because everything's a little bit more expensive now. We started on a 16-inch Wen, and like I don't recommend that one. It was fine enough, but it was awful.
It's the one I have, unfortunately. It's a horrible machine. Don't ever get it.
It's awful. It was the first one we learned on. It's actually how I got into woodworking. As Mac got the scroll saw and they tried it and they're like, this is a piece of shit. And I was like, yeah, but it looks like fun. Maybe I could try it. And I went out into the garage and I cut a little project and I was like, ooh, this is fun. And we used that 16-inch for probably about 6 months. And that's when I saw that the 21-inch came out and I was like, let's get this. Let's get this one. It's very similar to the DeWalt. It works really well. It's done us really well for the past couple of years. But we are saving up to buy a Pegasus, and we will hopefully have that here in the next month. We haven't ordered it yet, but we're going to order it this month to get it, and then our woes of not having two scroll saws will be over, and then we'll just be fighting over who gets the Pegasus and who gets to use the Wen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I too have.
Yeah, I know that that's the gold standard.
So, and I don't really use it anyway. So,
I've used it twice. It is such a horrible machine. My wife, I got it for my wife to play some, and it's such a bad machine.
It is. It vibrates so awful. The pin blades are awful. You can use the adapters to use the straight edge, but the adapters are a pain, and the tension is a pain. But if you want to make a small investment in a good machine, the 21-inch from Wen is great.
Oh, that's good to know that at least they made the proper upgrades for the bigger size.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember one of the few times that I used it, it was like a live edge piece of wood that was for a cutting board, and I was like cutting out this area that was kind of like a knot-ish kind of thing. And I immediately, as I turned it around, hit the back and went over the capacity. So I was like, can't even use it for that. So yeah, I had to get creative.
Yep. Alex, any other questions before we move on?
Nope.
Good news, everyone.
All right. So maker news then. Really nothing much going on other than, again, Texas Woodworking is coming up in September. Tickets are on sale now. You can buy tickets for my class. Otherwise, some maker news actually, also / what you're watching. If you guys know Malcolm over at Bossa Nova Woodworking, goodness, has recently started doing some YouTube videos, and he's really good at it. He's got such an amazing dry humor. like his latest video, which is about a table saw side table build. He starts it with, "Don't build this because it's horrible." And so it's just, he's got some good humor and some really entertaining stuff. So go check out his work. But cool. Tracy, thank you so much for coming on today. If people want to now buy stuff on your website, now that it's working, or learn more about you, where do they go? How do they find you?
Yeah, so we are M&T Woodworks on most platforms. We are primarily on Instagram, but I also post and goes over on the TikTok and over on YouTube Shorts, and over on Facebook. I think Facebook is the only one that's not M&T, because that was taken. So it was MNT. But if you go to our Instagram, we have a link tree there with all of our links. Our website is M&T Woodworks. We've done everything with the initials, with all of that. Pretty straightforward.
Awesome. And if you guys are looking for any Bumbleshoots stuff too, you guys have an affiliate code I saw on your link tree. So make sure you
Yes.
go check out their affiliate code.
Yes, we are huge fans of Eric and everything he's done with Bumbleshoots. Fantastic family. Definitely go check him out. He's a real guy. He's a fantastic person to work with. When we were first getting into woodworking, and like really diving into finishes, and we were right there, right at the infamous snapback issues. We had tried out his stuff, and he was fantastic to help answer all of the questions that we had about what finishes for everything. So go check him out. He's cool.
Awesome. Alex, anything else before we wrap up?
Make sure and get your pet spayed and neutered.
Indeed. Well, thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Remember, you can find us over on Patreon at Whatcha Makin Show. And until we see you guys again.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, night. Ain't no laws when you're scrolling saws.